This is a short instructional video on the Identifier series. These are multifunctional thermal imaging devices manufactured by OPTIX Bulgaria. They are designed to be used by special forces, military and law enforcement personnel while executing various missions and operations. The Identifier can be used both as a thermal scope for large caliber weapons or as a handheld observation device. Mounting is compatible with Picatinny rails and meets the MIL standard 1913. There are 3 models with 60, 75 and 100 mm focal length of the objective. The Identifier series can serve the following tasks: target acquisition, precise target engagement, providing fire control solutions, tactical surveillance, and field reconnaissance. The key characteristics of the Identifier series are as follows: thermal imaging module X-core 640 by 480 resolution of the detector, 70 micron pitch, thermal sensitivity of less than 50 millikelvins, variety of reticles with different types of ballistics and colors, red dot mode, 5 zeroing profiles, isotherm and red hot polarity, weather type function, video output. The devices have the following detection ranges: Identifier 60, human detection at more than 1600 meters, human recognition at more than 500 meters, vehicle detection at more than 4000 meters, vehicle recognition at more than 1300 meters. Identifier 75, human detection at more than 2000 meters, human recognition at more than 700 meters, vehicle detection at more than 5000 meters, vehicle recognition at more than 1600 meters. Identifier 100, human detection at more than 2700 meters, human recognition at more than 900 meters, vehicle detection at more than 6700 meters, vehicle recognition at 2200 meters. Let's take a look at the device itself. In front, we have a protective rubber cap for the objective, the focus ring. On top, we have 3 multifunctional buttons. On this side, we have a small piece of Picatinny rail for the LRF, the video output port, the on-off switch. In the back, we have a diopter adjustment ring, the rubber eye cap. On this side, we have a leather hand strap and the opening of the battery compartment. On the bottom, we have our weapon mount. The Identifier can operate on different types of batteries, either 2 or 4 18650 rechargeable Li-ion batteries or 4 CR123 batteries. To access the battery compartment, you need to unscrew this knob until the battery carrier on the other side is released. Minding the polarity of the batteries, install them correctly in the battery carrier, then return the battery carrier to the device and tighten the knob until it's secure. To install the optional LRF, you need to do the following: mount the LRF module to the short Picatinny rail, close the bracket, open the plug of the video port, and plug in the Fisher connector, minding the red dots. What comes in the package? The device itself, a soft Cordura bag, a protective cover for the device, optional CR123 batteries with a battery extender, your standard 8 pieces of 18650 rechargeable Li-ion batteries with a battery extender and your standard battery carrier, the battery charger, 12-volt cable for your car, 220-volt cable, 110-volt cable. The device also comes with 2 cables for video streaming and downloading images, one with a USB for a PC and one with an RCA connector. This is your cleaning napkin for the objective, and this is an eyepiece to use when the device is used as an observation device. Your optional LRF module and an additional eye cap. And in the end, we have our instruction manual. Before mounting the device on your weapon system, you need to check for safety first. Confirm that there is no rounds in the chamber and the weapon is safe. The weapon mount of the device comes with the option to adjust its width to the weapon system that you're using. You can do that by pressing the lever and turning the nut left or right in order to loosen or tighten the width of the weapon mount. Be careful to lock it into place between the two grooves in order for it not to get unscrewed. Then take your device and place it. When installing the device on your Picatinny rail, you need to be careful to lock the levers forward. From the middle onward, you need to feel some pressure, then press it firmly forward until it locks into place. You do the same with the back lever, starting to feel some pressure from the middle onward. Press it then firmly until it locks into place. This ensures that your device is mounted securely on the Picatinny rail of your weapon system. The main operations are performed through the buttons on the top side of the device, and the integrated functions exceed the number of the 3 control buttons. Some features are triggered by a combination of buttons or temporarily pressing and holding the buttons for a specified duration. Digital zoom. Press the Z button to activate 2 times digital zoom. Press it a second time to activate 4 times digital zoom. The current digital zoom is shown at the top right corner of the screen. Please note that the digital zoom reduces the quality of the image. Pressing and holding the Z button for more than 2 seconds takes a snapshot. NUKE non-uniformity correction. Each element of the detector array is susceptible to generate a signal different from the signals of other elements under the same conditions of observation. This non-uniformity leads to the appearance of a geometric noise in the picture. This effect is especially evident in uncooled systems. Therefore, it is necessary to perform a non-uniformity correction periodically during operation of the device. The NUKE algorithm is activated manually or automatically through specified intervals by pressing the N button. Pressing and holding the button for more than 2 seconds deactivates the auto NUKE function as the icon automatic NUKE disappears. In that case, the NUKE will be carried out manually only when pressing N. By pressing the N button again and holding it for more than 2 seconds, activates the auto NUKE function, and an icon appears on the upper left corner of the screen. Luminance polarity. The device has 4 fixed values of the display luminance. With prolonged use of the device in low lighting conditions, the lower luminance levels are recommended. This results in optimal energy consumption and greater observation comfort. Press and hold the button for more than 2 seconds to invert the image. For example, warm objects appear in dark tones, cold in white, and vice versa. Menu navigation. The buttons Z, N, and luminance are dual-purpose buttons. Besides the main and secondary functions, they serve also for entering and navigation through the menu. To activate the menu, press the Z and N buttons simultaneously, then use the Z and N buttons to move the cursor and the luminance button to select the function. To quickly exit the menu, press and hold the luminance button for more than 2 seconds. If the menu is left idle for 20 seconds, the menu will close automatically. Image. Brightness. Selecting brightness allows setting your own user-defined level of image brightness. Contrast. Selecting contrast allows setting your own user-defined level of image contrast. Scene. The scene menu allows regulation of the image contrast according to the observed scene. Highlight option. Boosts the signal input for optimal detection and recognition of high contrast objects. Panorama option. Regulates the signal input for optimal details when observing landscapes with variable objects. Weather type. Image quality is strongly dependent on weather conditions. When the weather is wet, for example, fog, rain, or other, the dynamic range of the scene is reduced, causing low contrast performance of the device. There are special image filters that enhance the details in low contrast image by wet weather conditions. You may choose between 3 filters: hot, normal, or wet. For good weather conditions, select the normal filter, otherwise the image will be noisy. Filters. This type of filters affect the edges of the object. You may choose between 3 filters: smooth, normal, and sharp. The smooth filter is suitable for reducing image noise. Objects have slightly blurred contours. The normal image filter is your standard mode of observation. The sharp image filter gives objects sharper contours for maximum detail performance at long distances. Palettes. Choosing black hot, warmer objects appear in black, and white hot, warmer objects appear in white, is up to users' personal preferences. Red hot is a recommended mode for prolonged observation. The image is red-black to minimize the blue light emitting by the display and is more comfortable on the eyes. Isotherm palette. The objects above the threshold temperature are colored in different shades of red. The temperature threshold can be set, increased or decreased by the temperature scale shown. Increasing the threshold value ignores the colorization of colder objects. This option is highly dependent from the distance to the object. It is highly recommended to try different values of the threshold in daily usage to find the right value for your personal preference. Quick Image Menu. By pressing Z and the luminance button simultaneously, a quick image menu appears. It is a shortcut for setting desired values of the main image parameters: brightness, contrast, and scene. Selecting the reticle brings up a submenu for adjusting the reticle. On the first row of the submenu is displayed the label of the current reticle profile. For example, Profile 1. Select it with the brightness button. Use Z and N buttons to choose one of the previously saved profiles and confirm it by pressing again the brightness button. This function allows you to bore sight the device with different weapons or at different distances. It is possible to change the name of the labels using the GUI. Type option changes the reticle type. The site provides 5 reticle types. The last selected type will be saved onto the actual position. If the equipment is left on storage for a period longer than 1 year or has been experiencing hard impacts, do always perform control shots before using it and re-zero it if necessary. Changing the climate zones or sudden drastic temperature change may affect the bullet drop and the accuracy of the whole system. Perform re-zeroing procedure if such circumstances are present. Step 1. Before starting the zeroing procedure, please first select the profile 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Everything else you perform in the zeroing menu will be automatically saved to the initially selected position. Step 2. In the Type submenu, select the preferred reticle type 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. This reticle type will automatically be saved to the initially selected position. Step 3. Zeroing bore sighting is made in a way similar to adjusting the bore sights of the day sights, with that difference that the reticle is adjusted electronically by pressing buttons. In position X, 0, Y, 0, the reticle is in the center of the field of view. Entering the zeroing function shows the typical zeroing menu with the aiming reticle and X and Y coordinates. There is an additional marker X on the screen, which should be placed at the center of the aiming point. When the first shot is made, the marker X should be placed in the center of the aiming point, target center, and by moving the X and Y values, the aiming reticle is moved toward the point of impact after the first shot. The managing of the values of X and Y and moving the aiming reticle is performed by pressing buttons N and button Z per direction, up, down, or left, right. Switching between directions is performed by short pressing the brightness button. Once the marker X is in the center of the target, the aiming reticle is placed in the center of the impact point. By increasing the value of X, the reticle is moved to the right, and by decreasing the value, to the left. Increasing the value of Y, the reticle is moved upwards, and by decreasing it, it's downwards.
A single step click of the reticle is as follows for Identifier 60, 2.8 centimeters at 100 meters. For Identifier 75, 2.4 centimeters at 100 meters. And for Identifier 100, 1.7 centimeters at 100 meters.
For example, if the target is at 100 meters and the hit point is 20 centimeters to the right and 15 centimeters downward from the target mark, the reticle should be moved 4 steps, clicks to the right, and 3 steps, clicks downwards. By long pressing at least for 2 seconds of the brightness button, the zeroing of the device is automatically performed, and the correct zeroing values of X and Y coordinates are displayed. Step 4. Depending on the atmospheric conditions, appropriate targets should be selected, providing the required temperature difference between target and background. In sunny weather, it is recommended to use of reflective materials like aluminum foil. In dark conditions, objects emitting heat provide the better contrast. A target with an aluminum foil attached to it does not absorb or reflects the thermal radiation, unlike the rest of the target, and because of that, seems like a cold object. Attention! Shoot on clearly visible targets only. For precise long-range shooting of more than 200 meters, it is recommended to do the zeroing of the weapon by using 2x and 4x electronic zoom. Color. Color changes the reticle color between white auto, white, gray 1, gray 2, gray 3, gray 4, gray 5, black, and black auto. Red dot. Switches on or off a red dot marker in the center of the reticle. On-off. With on-off, you can disable or enable the reticle. Features menu. Standby. When the standby function is enabled, the device will be switched to power-saving mode every time when the tilt angle is more than 45 degrees to both sides or more than 60 degrees upwards and downwards. As soon as these conditions are fulfilled, the device will automatically switch to standby mode in up to 20 seconds in the current position. When the device position is changed, it would automatically switch back on again. Auto BPR, Bad Pixel Repair function. This device has an automatic algorithm for clearing defective pixels on the screen. Attention, small objects on screen on farther distance might be observed as 1-2 pixels and considered as defective pixels by the algorithm. When observing objects a long distance, please turn off the Auto BPR function. Snapshot. The snapshot function is performed by pressing and holding the Z button. Snapshots are stored in the internal memory of the device. Up to 20 images can be stored. View shows the stored snapshots and allows browsing through them with the Z and N button. To exit, press the luminance button. Delete all. Deletes all images from the device memory. Settings menu. NUKE type. The thermal imaging devices are prone to generate noise in the image, columns or dots. Therefore, periodic calibration of the sensor is a mandatory process. The non-uniformity correction (NUKE) of the signal is a complex electronic process, which requires a uniform temperature body in front of the detector or the objective lens. For the convenience of the user, the device has a built-in motorized mechanism performing NUKE procedures by automatically dropping a miniature shutter plate in front of the detector. This process takes less than a second, is accompanied by an acoustic noise resembling a click. Selecting the NUKE type changes the NUKE mode between internal and external. In situations requiring maximum suppression of the acoustic noise, the device can operate in external shutter mode, which isolates the operation of the motorized mechanism. When the external shutter mode is activated, the motorized mechanism of the shutter is blocked. Auto NUKE function is deactivated. In that case, the calibration should be performed by the user, who must cover the objective lens before pressing N. In order to cover the objective lens, use the hand or the protective cap. Otherwise, the image of the display will resemble the negative effect of the observed scene. Upon power on, the device automatically performs 2 consecutive NUKE cycles. During this period of time, it is desirable to cover the objective lens with the protective cap or with the hand. These actions are necessary only when the external shutter mode is activated. OT, operational time. The OT menu shows the total working time in hours. Language. Available languages: English, German, Hungarian, Czech, and Russian.